Today I'll be talking about what I wish that people knew about MS. First off, this is not a death sentence, okay? Like, I'm not gonna go ahead and die in the next few years. I don't know why, but a lot of people react that way when you tell them that you have MS. My life expectancy is just as long as yours, just maybe with a few complications once I get old, okay? I'm not gonna go ahead and die right here on the spot. I'm not currently dying. Another person's MS is not my MS, okay? So please, by God, do not compare those two things. Just because you had a friend of a friend who went ahead and died of MS 2 years after diagnosis doesn't mean that I'm gonna end up that way. Just because you have a friend of a friend who went ahead and had MS for 40 years and never had a relapse doesn't mean that I'm gonna end up that way. Another person's MS is not my MS, okay? When I say that I'm tired, I don't mean the whole, oh, boy, I'm a bit tired. No, I'm talking about I just woke up and only 2 or 3 hours passed and I feel tired. Like, do you remember when you were as a kid at the public pool or at the beach or whatever, and you were running around and swimming and eating all this junk food all day, and then you come back home and you're all crisp and sunburned? You probably already fell asleep in the car because you couldn't keep your eyes open, and then after dinner you just kind of drop into bed, and for the love of your life, you couldn't keep your friggin' eyes open. Do you remember that type of tired? That like full on roaring, wrenching exhaustion where like all of your limbs are really heavy and you're like really baked and stuff? Yeah, I'm talking about like that type of tired. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I say I have MS and I'm feeling fatigued and I'm feeling tired today. This is what I'm talking about. And for myself, in my experience, this hits me like a friggin' train wreck after only 3 hours of being awake. And when people say, oh, well, you just gotta push through. Do you really think that sounds like I can friggin' push through that sanely without having symptoms that make me strongly depressed? I think not. When we talk about MS fatigue, this is not just like oh my God, I feel so tired, or oh, I'm exhausted. No, this is debilitating, like very debilitating tiredness. This is not funny anymore. I'm not saying that, there aren't versions that are lighter than that and you can still be, moderately fatigued. Of course you can be. You can have good days as well where, fatigue just doesn't hit that hard. But people always think that when you say that you're tired, you're exhausted, that it's their level of tired and exhausted as a person who's healthy. If I say that I can't feel my arm or my leg, I'm not saying that it's paralyzed and I can't use it, okay? I don't know why, but there's a good amount of people that think that if you can't feel your leg or if you can't feel your arm, okay, and it's just numb, that you shouldn't be able to use it or something. Of course I can use it. I just don't know what the hell I'm doing with it, okay? But I'm still able to use it. I might just not feel it, but I can still use it. Just fine, actually. Just it looks a bit messy sometimes. But I've had literally doctors, okay? Doctors say to me, but you can't have a numb left leg because you're walking with it. And I started laughing. I said, that's not how MS works. I said, my leg is, I reassure you, numb. And he's like, but you're walking on it. I said, it's numb, not paralyzed. For people who have not progressed very far yet and who have been diagnosed early, these people are very lucky because if you look at the medication that we have nowadays and at the possibilities of things that you can still do to add to your health, you might never actually really end up debilitated much at all in your life. And a lot of people don't realize that medicine nowadays is so far that we literally have people who have been relapse free for 20 years straight nowadays because of the medication that we have. Stress is absolute poison for us. In my experience, when I get stressed, all of my symptoms that I've ever experienced start flaring up and they come back. Even though most of them have receded, they all come right the hell back up. So I have balance issues, I have issues walking, I start stuttering and slurring, and all the other nasty symptoms as well come back, all because I'm stressed. Our nervous system is really sensitive at this point. Our nervous system doesn't work like your nervous system does. We feel things way stronger than your body does. I notice that when I'm stressed, when it's hot outside, when I drink coffee, when I ate too much sugar, that my whole nervous system is reacting to these things. Same with alcohol as well. Alcohol consumption or being around cigarette smoke, my whole body starts tingling with this stuff, okay? So you can imagine if I consume this or if I am faced with a lot of stress, that it's quite debilitating for me. Like I get quite debilitating symptoms from that because my nervous system is already in such an overload, okay, that stuff like that makes it flare up. With MS, there is not one single day that goes by that your body does not remind you that you have MS. That's a very hard pill to swallow because that means that you feel things, sensations, something tingling, something hurting, something annoying you 24/7 of your life. 24/7. All the friggin' time, every waking moment of your life, you have something that's reminding you, hey, hi, I still exist. MS in your body. I'm still here. I'm never leaving. Just because I'm capable of doing something today doesn't mean that I'm capable of doing it tomorrow. And if I'm capable of doing it today, I'm probably gonna crash the next few days. At least that's my experience. In my experience, if let's just say I go for a hike with my boyfriend one day, I'm probably gonna go ahead and crash by sleeping a lot the next 3 days, okay? Just because you see me hiking doesn't mean that it's not gonna take a huge toll on me afterwards. A lot of people think that MS is just like, you have a relapse and then it gets better. Oh, you have a relapse and then it gets better. It might never get better. And honestly, it usually never gets better. Maybe, whatever you might think is better from what you're perceiving, meaning that I have, maybe come to acceptance with my diagnosis and I'm just not complaining about it as much anymore. But it never really gets better. Like it's always there. You always kind of feel it. And you're always kind of a little bit debilitated by it. So it never really gets better. You cannot heal MS, okay? Not through diet, not with medication, or anything else. There's nothing, as far as of now, to heal MS. Nothing at all. Yes, people keep on talking about, maybe one day there will be something that might heal us. Maybe. But a lot of people keep saying, how often I've heard that one. If for every single time I had $1, I'd be rich by now, So for now, it's not curable. It's only manageable, I guess. But you can't ever heal it, no matter how hard you try or whatever you do. So please don't go ahead and, pester your loved one or anyone else who has MS with healing it, because there's no such thing as healing it. This is not a mindset thing. This is science. This is a fact. This is biology. So yeah, but that's everything that I wish people knew about MS. And if there's anything else that you wish that other people knew about MS, then please do feel free to comment down below, because I think it's really important for people, especially family, friends, and caregivers, to understand how we feel with MS.